August the 28th, 2022. Guys, just as it was looking like we would go through one of the few Augusts that I've seen without a hurricane during hurricane season, things are changing very quickly. You're looking at the U.S. Navy model called NAVGEM, and it's showing 4 systems setting up, one into the Gulf of Mexico going into Mexico. The other one is the big one, guys, the one in the center right now that is coming up towards the Bahamas. See that? And this goes up to September the 4th. So we're, what, 6 days away from this happening? Now, if one of these are named tropical storm or hurricane, but in the next couple days, we will not go through August without a named storm. But that still could happen. What I've said about that is this. August is the dog days, the hottest month. And when you don't have anything cooling the oceans off, then when you do get the right storm, you're going to have a superstorm because the heat built up in the ocean is going to require so much release that the storms will have to be very large. Check this out again, up to September 4th. Right there's where we're at. You've got one in the Gulf, one over the Bahamas, got one out in the Atlantic, and one coming off the African coast by the 4th. Now, the most other reliable model is a CMC, or the Canadian model, and it's focused more or less on the strongest storm right there. Now, this is September 7th, is how far this one goes out. Check this out. Just moving north of the Bahamas, you're seeing an opening in this orange and red, this is high pressure. And when you get a gap in there, these hurricanes are going to spin up into that gap. So this thing could get very close and then skim the coastline. We're not sure yet. It's still a week out. Look at that. Picking up some steam right in there. We're just going to have to watch this thing. Now, switching from Fox Hurricane to the National Hurricane Center. We've got these 4 systems. This is expected 10% chance of development to kind of spin up into the North Atlantic. This is the system, and I think it's the remnants of the one that came through the Windward Islands a few days ago. They downplayed it because it was just being stripped apart, but it may have enough energy in it to redevelop. Here is the problem. We have a 70% chance of formation in 5 days. Central tropical Atlantic, a broad and elongated area of low pressure, is located over the central tropical Atlantic Ocean. Although the associated shower and thunderstorm activity has increased somewhat since yesterday, it currently lacks organization. Overnight, these things will recycle like that, and you don't have the heat of the sun. It says environmental conditions are expected to be generally conducive for gradual development, and a tropical depression is likely to form later this week while moving toward the west and then west-northwest at around 10 miles an hour toward the waters east of the Leeward Islands. And that's this storm right here. Now, will it come in here and take advantage of that gap in the high pressure and skim up the coast? We don't know. We're still a few days out. Now, guys, let me say this. Tonight at 7 p.m. Central, Paul Begley is going to have his Sunday night show at Paul Begley Prophecy on YouTube. I'll put a link below this. And he's invited me to come on. We'll mention this. But, guys, there's something extremely important that's going to happen possibly in the next 4 to 5 weeks. And it could signal an entire economic collapse around the planet. 100 times worse than the 1929 stock market. Many times worse than the 2008 crash here. And what happened in the 2008 crash, guys? It was a housing bubble burst. They were loaning money out, building subdivisions everywhere without enough people to pay for it. But what happened? Well, without people being able to pay for it and the housing market collapsed, a lot of people lost a lot of money in the hedge funds and their 401ks and all that. But there was a bailout. Lehman Brothers, J.P. Morgan, all these guys, with our taxpayer money, they got bailed out. What did they do? They bought all the property, guys, at about half cost. So out of the destruction of the 2008 crash, the wealthy got wealthier. We're about to see that happen again, but on a much larger scale, because this bubble is not just housing. This is an everything bubble. And guys, did you know there's signs, about 4 or 5 signs that have to come together to create the conditions for a market collapse? And these signs are being watched by what's called the magicians of Wall Street, even back through the 1700s. In each crash that we've seen in this country has had these 4 to 5 factors involved. And again, the magicians of Wall Street know this. They've been knowing it since ancient times. Remember who taught man about astrology, about numbers, about weaponry? You know who it was. It was the fallen angels, fallen angel technology. And they also taught, again with astrology, taught man what they knew about the signs in heaven. And the banking cabal has learned that for hundreds of years, maybe going back further than that, that these signs coming would indicate a crash. And I think what's happening is they plan their crashes around these events. There's certain things involved that have to happen in order for this to work. I know it sounds a little crazy, but tonight it's going to take a while to go through this, but tonight, if we have a chance on Paul Begley, and I think we will go through those 5 factors. Did you know that one of these things, and I'll give you one of them now, is the beginning of the Jewish holidays? And there's 2 things that happen back to back, starting September 25th, Rosh Hashanah, and then that's the last week of September. First week of October is Yom Kippur. And all of the great crashes, even 1929, going back into the 1800s, back 200 years and further, the crashes happened. Look at the dates. Look at the dates of 1929. Look at the dates of 2008, Lehman Brothers. Look at where we are at now. Another thing, I'll give you one more, are lunar and solar eclipses. Okay? All of this is about to happen, plus 3 other things. Guys, we're watching it. If you want to check out those dates, get a little homework before tonight, you can. But this year, Rosh Hashanah, I think, starts September 25th, and then last week of September into the first week of October into Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur, if I'm not mistaken, is a time there for everybody to get it together, kind of, but then your fate is sealed for 1 year. I'm going to ask Paul and Heidi about that tonight, because Heidi's been studying a lot about the Jewish language and things, and she may have a tremendous amount of knowledge that she can pour into this. But I saw this information on a video. I heard them talking about it, so as soon as that happened yesterday, I went into a dive and found these dates and the other things we're going to talk about tonight, and it all matched up, guys. It all matched up. And we're right there at this precipice again. None of these crashes happen without these factors coming together. And they're all about to hit. So I hope you're prepared, guys. I hope you are prepared for world economic collapse going into Mad Max. That's what's going to happen. We're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.